So skip forward if you want to get to the timestamps, or their timestamps exist, so you can go through. Oh my goodness, I hit Scout on accident. But all you need to know is that Golshi won a few races. It's all RNG though, so so this minute before the second round opens up, we'll go over, because in the time it takes for me to go over this, hey, but otherwise, just a really quick review of the races. I have a few saved because, well, aside from the other 5 first places, only really one of them was quite competitive. And then, I mean, if you didn't need to be told that Sprint Champions meets are RNG, boy oh boy are they. That doesn't mean that there aren't consistent strategies you can go with, or Musume that you can and cannot use, but I promise you that there is a degree of RNG. How do I know that? Because you can go practice race and get practice partners from those you've lost to and just see the results. Within like 3 races even, you'll see how random Sprint Champions meets can be. But otherwise, yeah, late Oguri. I could just use regular Oguri, but I just figure go for it because I wanted to. Otherwise, L is doing the really hard carrying here, so not really much else to say. Although I did make some mistakes here and there. I think I did have Speed Star. I think I talked about this on day 1, but I did have Fine Motion, and maybe I didn't get Speed Star, and so I didn't see Prepared to Pass, which is the white skill version, but shrug, right? So, without further ado, not really much else to say. There is Oguri hopes that she hits the Festive Miracle, but I am relying on RNG. That being said, the only way it can proc is late race with a small breather procking, so that's nice. But if it doesn't proc, pretty much a win. L, probably even earlier, a little bit earlier possibly, procs her Conder Pasa, procs her unique, then it's still okay. It gets you distance, but it's not as great as the acceleration that goes along with it. So, we'll just go in and see what happens. Yeah, so the first day of round 2, I'll do the first entry, and after that, well, I guess we'll see. This is going to be interesting, though. I expect to see a lot more, well, Kurin-chan into Sakura Bakushi no that have at least 3 XLs on Pace Chaser. That's pretty much the main compositions of teams that I'm not getting first of. I think I only really had 1 blowout in terms of, hey, someone else took first, second, and third, and even then, it wasn't by 4 lengths, so sprint CMs are a thing. Also, if L doesn't get second or first, my team totally just falls to the back, so it's all on Oguri Cap and Gold Chip to anchor. Keeping in mind that Gold Chip is the thing. Oh, hey, there's a Taishin. I think this is the first Taishin I've seen pretty much the whole Champions Meet. And yeah, this is going to be really, really interesting. I don't need to look any further, but we'll take a quick look just to see how much of a difference there is. I haven't gotten King Halo to work. I assume there's a late King. Yeah, it is a late King Halo. Otherwise, yeah, we should be seeing a lot more stuff. Does angling and scheming? I see a lot more of those with with trainers that have, higher grade Musume. I'm wondering if that little small corner that you have does make it able to proc, but otherwise, we have 1 front. Who was the front, by the way? So Marzensky. I just saw her, but helping the paces out and also hurting. Funny enough, it's lobbies with 1 front runner, not exactly 1, not 2 or more, not 0, that end up doing worse for Gold Ship and Oguri Cap. But again, just filling in time, there's not really much else to say other than shrug, hope things hit. As I mentioned, if I didn't mention it, I'll mention it now. Stop right there is pretty much going to get me a good amount of lengths, but that's only if Oguri Cap procs it. I could not get it for Gold Ship because getting the aptitudes and sparks on Gold Ship was hard enough, so I didn't really try that much harder to do Gold Ship, which is why Gold Ship is going to suffer for a lot of this Champions Meet. But otherwise, all we're really looking for is stop right there, and then either L takes second or first, which is harder to do in a front runner lobby, especially when there's exactly 1. When there's 2 or more, or 0, funny enough, I don't have as much of a problem, and we do get stopped right there. Now we just hope that skills proc correctly. But if L doesn't get second or first, then it's all up to Oguri Cap in late, and then Gold Ship maybe just randomly. If Gold Ship sneaks up ahead, because this whole up to, even right up to the final leg is a downhill, so anyone who procs the acceleration going downhill is going to profit, and anyone who doesn't, well, has to make up the distance somehow. So around here is where we want to see everything proc. It's on Professor of Curvature. Okay, that's a good good set of L skills to see, but if we don't get up to the front, it's not really going to matter. Although Gold Ship being that far up, close to the front runner, is going to be quite interesting. I think this might be the second race that Gold Chip can be competitive in, and oh boy, Hesitant Pay Chaser's a little early, but it's fine because as long as this happens at this distance, unless that's a Sprint S, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but boy, oh boy, it got really close there. So, also, I would have liked, if I had the choice, I would have liked to put a late velocity on it, but yeah, Sprint S is going to help out there as opposed to Gold Chip's fake 1200 speed with Sprint A, so either one of those would have helped out a lot better. I forgot to thanks, but hey, good race. Otherwise, as we go on to the rest of this, well, I'm hopeful for 3 wins in this first entry. I'm going to actually guess 2 because of my own RNG. Granted, this is the very opening, so it's there's kind of a subjective bias on who is actually queuing at this moment. But hey, but that's where part of the fun is. So let's continue onward. But yes, Gold Chip kind of creeping forward there. Aside from a unique, really is a lot of proccing on the downhill on 450 wit, which, I mean, that's all I can really say. That's the end-all be-all of that sentence. So, as we take a quick look here, just to see, I mean, it all looks correctly. I don't need to look at it, but just in case anyone was curious, we'll take a quick little gander at the skills and stats of our competition here. There's a standard distance on that Oguri cap, but it's Oguri cap, not Christmas Oguri, so it'll do a lot better. I would run Oguri cap, but I just, again, if I didn't explain it earlier already, it's because I just wanted to run Christmas Oguri. And really, it's just getting to A finals and trying to see if Gold Chip wins, which means the other 2, although it could help out, and that's kind of why my late Oguri has stopped right there to help out Gold Chip, but shrug. It's the CM is what it would be. Otherwise, yeah, either Sakura Bakushin O or just regular Oguri cap. I do have both to and the support cards to do either or. But as we get a stop right there, proc again. Cross our fingers. Not again. If for a complete RNG, we would see. I would have won a lot more races, not just with L, but with Gold Chip and Oguri cap. That being said, again, lates and ends do have a lot of distance to cover in this Champions Meet on this racetrack. So as L comes up to the front here, and hopefully procs are unique, aside from this Taiki shuttle getting like in body and mind plus something else, and all of us getting debuffed at the final end, maybe there is someone who pops up here, because yeah, I've seen a lot of air groups creep up in the about 350 meter mark, so around here is where we would drop, is where she would pull forward. Otherwise, that's as close as a Festive Miracle as I can hope for. We're just far behind, so I don't know if we're going to get anything. In fact, yeah. So it's all up to El Conder Pasa to take this one because we're too far back. Here's where all the Oguris proc their Triumphant Pulses, but it's a little bit too late, and hey, stat gapped. So, off we go. Again, there is a lot of distance to make up, even if you're a pace chaser far behind from what I've seen. So, and yeah, Turf S helps out eventually as well with the acceleration into the final leg. So, shrug, right? But to be expected. I said 45%. This is where a bunch of losses will come in, if I had to guess. Because yes, obviously everyone goes into grade A or grade B at this moment. So, I guess shrug. We'll see. Keeping in mind that yes, I am queuing in as soon as the round opens, so that is going to present a lot more trainers who just want to, well, maybe you just want to get it done and then go on with their lives. But again, you don't know who you're going to get, but it's more likely you're going to get a lot more competitive trainers here, as we are seeing just right on screen. So, without further ado, again, little quick overview, not really much else to go off of. Aside from, yes, Intimidates. That's what I've been seeing a lot more too. It makes sense. It does help out immensely. For your team, not just the person who has Intimidate. They're not really, unless you're going to get a bunch of other excels somewhere, it's not, I mean, what else are you going to use your skill points on? There are a bunch of velocity increasing perks you could get, but aside from those, yeah, not really much else. So, off we go. But yes, this doesn't look likely either, so pretty much coin flipping on this race for me. I mean, it's pretty much more than 2 coin flips at worst for me, but shrug, right? We're getting stop right there perks. Again, those do help out. Otherwise, I would be left in the dust. I would be getting completely 5, 6, 7, or 6, 7, 8, or 7, 8, 9 placements. So it's the best I can hope for, and it really is the best I can hope for. Although I would like to be in the inner lane, but if we have to pass on the outer, that is a bit of distance we have to make up for. Other people are getting their Excel procs. Obviously, Professor of Curvature for Conder Pasa dropping off while everyone else is proccing their Professor of Curvature here. Goldship gets to creep up forward, but she's not far forward enough for my liking. In fact, I think we're being left behind a little bit here, so it's all up to Oguri Cap to proc Festive Miracle right now. And this is pretty much the latest I can, but although it's already pretty late, so cross our fingers. Goldship also pushing forward here. I didn't check to see if she was proccing a lot of acceleration perks, but hey, it's Goldship. Hey, give Mummy Hug too to keep the acceleration in, although I don't have any other late procs, so shrug, right? Goldship actually took that one, by the way, so here to get drop kicked again, but off we go. So, without further ado, hey, we're in Group B, but we really want... did I say Grade A? I mean Group A, Group B. Groups. It's on groups, but yes. In Group B, but really trying to get for Group A. I shouldn't really need to worry. L should... and by that I mean I'm probably going to just get carried by L, but we'll see, because, yeah. I'm really interested to see other statistics, if they're ever released on the situation of this Champions Meet, like in terms of what trainers used, what teams they used, what Musume they used, so on and so forth. That's my Conder Pasa. Sakura Bakushin O. For some reason, I could never get a Sakura Bakushin O working either. Maybe I was just really unlucky when I was looking at both the braces that she was in. She did do relatively well, but she never took first outright. And by that, I mean it was all close first when I tried to train my own Sakura Bakushin O. But, shrug. So, off we go. I'm pretty sure I missed something here and there, but it's fine. I'll switch to vertical orientation on the last race. Otherwise here, we'll just enjoy landscape mode a bit more. I do enjoy landscape mode for my own eyes, but vertical does make things better for thumbnails. In my opinion, at least. But anyway, as we move on here. So yeah, Goldship is Goldship. It's great to hit the mid-race skill for her unique, but again, unless I pick the accelerations and the final leg velocities, I should probably just go for that. More so than even wet conditions or other things that just increase stats, but we're already here in the CM. If you didn't know, I just like to stick with 3 Musume during the CM. I think a lot of trainers do that. If you have the luxury to, or you're just willing to, you can train. But there is the Dirt CM coming up, and I personally am trying to make my Dirt Golshi, which I do have one already. In fact, I could show you at the end of this video as a bonus. But unless Conder Pasa gets second here, which she's not going to get, it's all up to Goldship getting 5th already, although she dropped, so other people are proccing their accelerations. Festive Miracle, as good as I can get. I'll just have to be happy she is sprinting forward here, but whether or not she can take first, because there is a Hishiaka opponent way in the front, boy oh boy, is it going to be a lot to go through, so... yeah, it doesn't seem likely. That's a lot of distance to make up. Help! So yeah, as I said, 2 wins, 3 losses in the first entry of the group. Entry of round 2, Group A. So off we go. But otherwise, I mean, yeah. Everything could be improved here. Everything could be improved. Plan X/countermeasure does have its effect, but I would have obviously liked him to take Speedstar. Late Oguri Cap here. I mean, I don't know what else I would put on her aside from just obviously final spurt, last spurt velocity skills. And then Goldship definitely needs other acceleration skills. Just straight up, not really much else to say there. Although this lobby seems like it's going to be a little bit better for me, but we have to look at the other trainer, which, yeah, I just see this. I see this air groove, and it's already going to be a bit of a problem. Although I don't see any golden accelerations. Not that it matters though. If some of those were final leg last spurt velocity skills, it's not going to matter. Also, keeping in mind that you can proc Taiki Shuttle's unique at a very opportune moment, but it's RNG whether that happens, so shrug. So we've already looped around, off we go, portrait mode, and yeah, we sit back and watch. I will be spacing out my entries later on in the day though, as in the next 24 hours, but also day 2 will exist too. So, just keeping a quick eye on Stop Right There. Although, just because Stop Right There procs doesn't mean it's going to do its effect. It does pretty much need to happen right at the end of the early leg, which it's supposed to. That's the condition, but we didn't proc it there, so shrug for Oguri Cap and Goldship. Mainly Goldship. Oguri Cap can still creep forward, but it requires a lot of RNG, especially with going downhill and accelerating based on wits, of which Gold Ship only has 450 wits. So really eyeing Conder Pasa here to break out in front. She's in the inner, but she's pretty boxed in. Might be fine, might not be fine, as everyone's proccing their corner velocity skills here. Gold Ship can creep forward here, but she needs to creep forward a lot more. Otherwise, as we actually take first for a moment, if we proc the unique here, we're looking a lot better. Just taking a look to see if anyone has Turf S or Turf S Sprint aptitude, which is going to be the deciding factor here, because this is very, very close. So, as Curran Chan seems to speed up, we're going to see if anyone else. I don't think Oguri Cap is nowhere near close. Gold Ship is not close at all, so it's really on Conder Pasa to hold first place at this point. King Halo can take it here. Curran Chan as well. I think Curran Chan won that one. Yep, she did. So, sadness happens. But, again, I'll be doing my race. I'll probably just do another entry right after this recording, but otherwise, shrug, right? So, yeah, in body and mind. A lot of people look down on that. I don't. If you have in body and mind, I just hold my breath and wait for the moment I get passed up on that. So, that being said, again, my L could be a lot better. Let's keep reiterating that, because that is important to note. But otherwise, not really much else to say here. If you have anything to say, you know what to do. I think I've done certain parts of this video, even though it's pretty much a stream-like video, but it should be what it is. I'm training this Meiji Orion to help myself in the dirt CM, by the way. So if I can get a good one, really looking for at minimum 2-star mile, which is already an uphill battle for me. So yeah, without further ado, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.